Hello everyone and welcome. My name's Jack Milne, owner of Milne Aggregates. It's a real pleasure to stand beside Minister Lecce, Bill McRae, interim CEO of the Ontario Prospectors Association, our local MPP who advocates for the people of Thunder Bay, Atikokan, every day, Kevin Holland. Milne Aggregates is also happy you all, Acting Mayor Greg Johnson, members of the Thunder Bay Chamber of Commerce, owner of Walls Prospecting, Rudy Wall, and President and CEO of Volta Metals Limited, Karamina Smith, here on site with us to get a small glimpse of some of the work we do every day. As a business owner here in the heart of Northern Ontario, I see firsthand how important a strong and active mining sector is for creating jobs and prosperity for our communities, especially here in the north. That's why it's so encouraging to see our continued focus and support of our industry receives from Premier Ford and the Ontario government. It sends a strong signal when a government not only listens to the needs of our sector, but takes real action to support it from the ground up. And that's why we're so pleased to have a true champion for our industry here with us today. It's now my great pleasure to introduce the Honourable Steve Lecce, Minister of Energy and Mines, to share some important news. Please give him a warm Thunder Bay welcome.
All right. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Thank you very much. Thanks to your team for letting us on site here today. Good to be back to Thunder Bay. Obviously, want to give a warm thanks to the local MPP, Kevin Holland, who's been a great champion and a good friend, and more importantly, a strong voice for the North, making sure that we get on with building responsible resource development and more exploration, more extraction, more processing here in the North, and more jobs for our kids and grandkids. And that's why we're here. And so thank you, sir, for what you do. Obviously, to all my colleagues who are with us from the Chamber, local businesses, and likewise representatives of Council, thank you very much for your support. We're just a days after Canada Day, and when we really honor our country's values, the resilience, the heritage, we find ourselves in the middle of a geopolitical shift, really unlike anything we've seen in a generation. And these wars, these economic wars, are reshaping supply chains. Resource security is now national security, and the race for critical minerals is on. And not all sources are created equal. Too much of today's global supply is controlled by regimes that just don't share our values as Canadians. China, for example, dominates much of the world's critical mineral market, using forced and child labor, unsafe conditions, and destructive environmental practices. That's just not the world, the future we want for the world, and Ontario should not be tied to that destiny. We offer a better way forward, one that is stable, ethical, transparent, and sustainable. And one of the greatest competitive advantages we have isn't found in a factory or a boardroom. It's in the ground beneath our feet. And we know that this province is blessed with minerals. The world needs these minerals, more nickel and cobalt and lithium, graphite, materials that power everything from electric vehicles to smartphones to clean tech. But what isn't always seen from a distance is there's no mining without exploration. And there is no exploration without the grit and vision and risk-taking of junior mining companies and prospectors across the north. They find the mineral deposits, they spark the investment, they build the foundation for jobs and development and long-term prosperity in Canada. And they're doing it in some of the most remote and rugged parts of our province. So that's why in 2021, our government launched the Ontario Junior Exploration Program to back these early efforts and help get shovels in the ground. Because early exploration can be high risk, capital intensive, and often it's overlooked. But not by us. We really see exploration, and this new program is really designed to change that, to break down those barriers and unlock opportunity and to accelerate discovery. And it's delivering real results. So far, this fund has actually unlocked an additional $99 million in private investment. That's a 2-to-1 return on that contribution from the taxpayer. When it comes to critical minerals, the impact is even clearer. $66 million alone of investments have flown into these projects. And I think that's a case study, builds investor confidence right here in Ontario. It's proof that when we target the right areas, when we back the right people, that big things can happen. The Ontario Junior Exploration Program is doing exactly what it was designed to do. Spark private sector growth, strengthen our mining sector, and make Ontario a global leader in critical minerals. And that's why today I'm proud to be back in Thunder Bay to announce that we are unveiling the next intake of the Ontario Junior Exploration Program. It is now open, an additional $10 million this year alone. Through our most recent budget is going to bring the total commitment for this program to $45 million. But this time we're going a bit further. We're launching a new dedicated prospector stream that will allow eligible applicants to now apply up to $50,000 per project to help cover their early stage exploration, regardless of if they're chasing critical minerals or traditional deposits. These are the boots on the ground, often the first ones in the bush, working alone with pickaxe, GPS, and a whole lot of heart. But we see the work they do, we value their work, and we're here to help. The second new investment we want to announce today is an expansion of our Indigenous participation. And that's why today we're very proud to announce we're increasing the available funding allotment for projects that create Indigenous jobs and partnership from $10,000 up to now $15,000 on top of the regular funding amounts I've already announced. That means up to $215,000 for companies, up to $65,000 for prospectors when they meaningfully contribute and collaborate with Indigenous communities. Now, this isn't just about growing our economy, it's about growing it together. We want new applicants to come forward, and as you know, applications are now open until July 31st for eligible projects, and that really are going to start on or after April 1st of 25. Ontario is rising to meet this moment. We're not waiting for certainty. We're building that resilience and confidence right here at home. We're asking for a seat. We're not asking for a seat at the table, but we're taking our place in a world that's looking for stable, ethical, secure sources of critical minerals. Ontario stands ready to lead. And so if you're a prospector or a junior exploration company or an investor looking for your next opportunity, the message is simple. Apply, get drilling, and know that this government under Premier Ford has your back, because powering the world starts right here in the north. And protecting Ontario means unlocking these full potential of the land and our people. So thank you for the opportunity to be with you. And now I want to introduce the Minister and the local MPP for Thunder Bay Atikokan, Kevin Holland, who's been a huge champion of our resource sector right across the board. Yes, from forestry, but right across from mining and energy. Responsible resource development is Canada's advantage to the world, and we want to work together to get resources out of the ground and help displace those regimes abroad with Canadian, ethical, and responsible resources. So with that, please welcome Kevin Holland. Thanks so much.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's really great to be here alongside my friend and colleague, the Honourable Stephen Lecce. I think this is probably your 7th or 8th visit to Thunder Bay since my election in 2022, and it's always great having him back in Thunder Bay. I really value the relationship and the friendship that I have with Minister Lecce. I have the opportunity where we sit down and we really discuss about the opportunities and the advantages we have here in the north. And he's hearing us. He's truly a friend of Northern Ontario, so I really appreciate all that you're doing to help us, especially on this file. Since my election in 2022, I've had the privilege of meeting with many prospectors and junior mining companies all across our region. We've had important conversations about the opportunities and challenges they face in today's evolving global economy, especially in the area of mineral exploration and development. The announcement we're making here today represents a major step forward. It's about ensuring Ontario continues to lead as the world's premier supplier of the critical minerals needed to power clean technologies, innovation, and industry. By supporting prospectors and junior mining companies, especially in overcoming the hurdles of remote exploration, we're doing more than investing in our economy. We are unlocking the long-term potential of our mining sector. And that means jobs for northern and rural communities, growth for our economy, and lasting prosperity for the people of Ontario. This is an investment in our future, one that supports the responsible development of our natural resources and helps us compete and win on the global stage. At this time, I'd like to take the opportunity to welcome Bill McRae, Interim CEO of the Ontario Prospectors Association, to the podium, and thank you again, everyone, for being here with us today.
Good morning. Yeah, it's difficult to see that screen, but just on the President and Interim executive director for the Ontario Prospectors Association, and we're about to change the face of the whole organization. It started in 1988 when I called the first meeting, and now we're going to make it even bigger and better. I want to thank the minister for the opportunity to fund junior exploration and more the prospector, who is the sort of the base of the whole chain from prospector to mine. And if you don't have a prospector, you don't have a mine. They go hand in hand. So in 1922, the minerals in Ontario contributed $13.5 billion in profit and revenue, and that represents 22% of the total mineral endowment for Canada. So minerals are important, and it's great to see the support we're getting, especially for the prospector, which is probably the person that has the will to fight bad weather and bad bugs and everything you can throw at him, and he'll still be out there looking at rocks, and with the dream that one day he might find something. So we have to praise those people, and I'm glad that we're now financially able to support them. Thank you.
As a reminder, it's one question, one follow-up. Please state your name and outlet to the mic. We will start with our first reporter.
Do you care to comment on the Kakapeka generation station and the $12 million upgrade and the opposition from Fort William First Nation?
I may turn it over to the local MPP if you have a perspective on that. I'm not sure, but I think what I'd simply say is we want to build energy generation that's going to help secure the north. Hydroelectric, new energy is really critical to a clean economy, and as we look to secure our economic future, we're turning to reliable power like hydro and nuclear. And we know that that's going to make a difference when it comes to powering the north. 81% energy demand is forecasted by 2050 in the north, which is much higher than the province of Ontario on average. So we got to get to work. We want to do it in partnership, and we look forward to continued collaboration through OPG, who's leading some of this work with local partners on the ground to make sure we build together, because we all need the power. And we are very committed for some of the communities, indigenous communities of the north, that are still dependent on diesel generation that is dirty and not reliable and expensive. It comes with great social, economic, environmental impacts. We want to displace diesel with clean electricity. Our grid is one of the cleanest on earth. Roughly 90% is non-emitting, one of the cleanest on earth. And our plan, the integrated energy plan we announced just a few weeks ago, is going to get us down to 99% without imposing higher taxes or mandates. So we're proud of our record, but we obviously will continue to work in partnership. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, would just add what Minister Lecce has commented on is that OPG is making a huge investment into the asset at Kakapeka Generating Station, recognizing how important that asset is to the overall energy supply across Ontario that serves all of our communities. And as Minister Lecce said, it's going to provide that safe, clean energy for our communities, including the Indigenous communities all across the north. So I'm really excited by the project. It's a great economic boost to the region as well. And it's I drive by the site every day on my way into town because I live out Kakapeka, as you know, and the work they're doing there is going to make a real difference in the supply of clean energy in northwestern Ontario. So.
and Mr. Minister, Chris Kettnan with CBC Thunder Bay.
Hi,
I wanted to ask you a question about Bill 5. I mean, as you're certainly aware, that's been passed. There's been a number of protests. There's one scheduled for Thunder Bay tomorrow, Queen's Park on Canada Day, I believe. Just what's your response to that ongoing opposition, and what steps are you taking to address those concerns?
Look, we're obviously very committed to getting responsible resource development off the ground. I mean, in northern Ontario, in this province, we're one of the slowest permitting and one of the slowest provinces to get to yes on a permit. It could take upwards of 15 years. I think most Canadians, most reasonable people, objectively will say that's offensive, especially in this new world order, when we gotta get on with building and getting our resources out of the ground for the benefit of our economy and the world's. So we appreciate there's a lot of work to do on the engagement and collaboration, and Minister Rickford has been leading some of that work. When it comes to engagement, the Premier has had some early meetings as well. All of us are going to continue to listen, but we're fully committed to the implementation of one project, one process, to cut the timelines in half, get on with building a clean, strong economy. You know, self-reliance as Canadians, especially given the ongoing threats and the imposition of new tariffs by President Trump, this is existential for Canada. Like we like there isn't a way forward without us responsibly getting our resources out of the ground. And the government is committed not just to more exploration, as we're announcing today, and more extraction, but it's also more value-added jobs, more processing, because you know, we do a lot of ripping and shipping of our resources, sending it abroad for processing, and all those good jobs happen somewhere else. We've announced $500 million to do more of that in the province, in collaboration with, yes, Indigenous communities and local communities. But at the end of the day, we have a mandate from the people of Ontario to responsibly get resources out of the ground. We have the most ethically sourced resources on earth. If we don't step it up, it means we're allowing, in fact, we're enabling the Chinese to win the day. And I just think most Canadians want Canadian resources, built by Canadian hands to prevail. And that's why we're moving forward, but we're going to do it in collaboration with a lot of listening along the way.
Thank you.
Okay. Awesome.
That concludes today's press conference. Thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you.